Welcome everyone to our 2023 foster training. We also are going to use this for adoption training because it does help some people to visually see how to care for animals. So we're very excited to have you all join us today and also record it for those who couldn't make it today. And from the bottom of my heart, I do want to just take a moment to appreciate you all as our fosters. Without you, I would have 57 animals in my house. That is how many animals we have right now. And as you can imagine, 57 animals would be an overwhelming experience. So I am so grateful because the animals get to go to your homes, be loved, be tamed, and be ready for adoption. Whereas if they were all sitting in this house, the best they get is a few scritches a day. So thank you everyone for that. So we're going to start this discussion with general guinea pig care. And specifically, we're going to talk about adult guinea pigs first and common problems. And I have many guinea pigs with many problems. So I'm actually going to be able to show you some of the common medical conditions because my own guinea pigs, which are all rescues, just like the ones you have, come in with problems or develop problems after they're rescued, and we do our best to manage them. We're going to start with first feeding animals. So I always joke that I have the healthiest fosters and the fattest guinea pigs that I own. All right. Because once you adopt an animal, of course, you want to spoil it. So we're going to first talk about foods. So I say for your guinea pig, the simpler, the better. And so we have the core 4 items, and Allie's going to zoom in, that we recommend you feed your guinea pigs on a routine basis. The first is a high quality romaine or a high quality green leaf or red leaf lettuce. For vitamin C, green peppers are the best. And why? They are lower sugar. There is a lot of sugar in these, so it won't hurt your guinea pig per se, but it's really too much to give them every day. So if you're feeding peppers, we prefer the green pepper side of things. The third thing that we say you can feed in very small chunks, and I usually say 1 inch to 1.5 inches per pig, are carrots. And the one thing I forgot to put out, and maybe Lucia can go grab it while I'm going through this out of the fridge, bottom drawer of the fridge, is cucumbers. Now, there are also, and we're going to send you after this training, a feeding chart that Amy, one of our board members, thankfully created that we have. But on that chart, you're going to notice that there's some things we say not every day. So lettuce every day, a piece of pepper, a piece of cucumber, a small piece of carrot, because those are high sugar, usually won't disrupt the gut flora of your guinea pig. But there are other things you can feed guinea pigs. So I'm going to show you something here. This is spinach. Guinea pigs do love spinach. The problem is, depending on the guinea pig, it can have too much calcium. So spinach is one of those foods we say feed, but not every day. One of the common things that everybody, oh, thank you. And then the good old great cucumbers, that's an easy food on the stomach and can be fed on a daily basis. Now, a lot of you will see and buy these in the stores. This is a baby spinach spring mix blend. This, again, has all the things that guinea pigs are allowed to eat. And you have to be careful because, again, because it's a spinach blend, some guinea pigs can develop problems because they can't adjust to the calcium or the oxalates. So again, make sure if you're feeding blends that you're not feeding too much spinach in the diet. Now, there's other things guinea pigs like to eat, and they will love you for it. Think blueberries, think strawberries, water, beautiful tomatoes, apples. There's all sorts of things that you can give your guinea pig that are fruit food. If you want to end up with a very fat guinea pig and teeth problems, feed more fruit things. So my basic 4 every day is lettuce, cucumbers, peppers, and a little bit of carrot. And then everything else I limit to so many times a week. Now, depending on which guinea pig forum you read, they will say you can feed some other items that I personally don't ever feed my guinea pig. And so I'm going to show them to you. And the reason I don't feed my guinea pig these items is because it can cause massive bloating and gastro upset. So anything in the cruciferous family I personally never feed my animals because of the risk of bloat and stomach upset. They'll eat it, but it can cause them to have very painful conditions. So cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and that anything in that cruciferous family, I personally don't recommend feeding. I know others do it. And that's your choice. And it's a very limited, very small quantity. And if you see your guinea pig bloating, and Lucia, would you be able to go get Ellie? She's with Andy and she's got bloat. She's my little Abby against the wall. I'm actually going to show you what can happen to guinea pigs with sensitive guts and fauna. We're going to talk about a situation called bloat. Now, kale and other related greens, chard, some of those other ones, again, those are a couple times a week item. They're not an everyday item. And there's a difference between male and female diets. So one of the things that I learned early on in my foster care was the more calcium you feed a male guinea pig, if they have the genetics that make them prone to kidney and bladder stones, you're only going to speed up the problem. Yep. So who I want to show you here, because she is so excited to be an example, this is Ellie. Ellie has what we call permanent bloat. So it's not life-threatening, but I am just going to show you how bloated her sides are. All right. So you see, she almost looks like she's pregnant. So what happens to some animals who have very sensitive guts, and Ellie is one of our sensitive gut piggies, is you can cause a perpetual bloat condition, right? Now, Ellie actually has bloat for other reasons, but I want you to see what bloat looks like so you know if you're causing it in your foster pigs. Ellie gets massages. Her particular kind of bloat is genetic and it's not related to what she eats. And so she gets a nice stomach massage from us. And if you ever cause your guinea pig to have bloat, we recommend you keep a bottle of simethicone. We use this for babies, or gripe water is another thing you can get. But we recommend as fosters that you always have a bottle of this on hand, because if you cause bloat, this is the fastest way to get this down. And in fact, when she has really bad days where she's super bloated, we give her a dose of this to get the bloat down so she is comfortable. All right. Any questions on veggies? And I'm going to give you Ellie back. Just checking on the screen here. All right, then let's talk next about dry food. So we have a difference between young guinea pigs and adult guinea pigs. And one of the biggest mistakes guinea pig owners make when they buy from pet stores, and we fosters have to fix when they come in, is purchasing the wrong kind of pellets. So obviously here at the Austin Guinea Pig Rescue, we are fans of the Oxbow pellets. And now you can see there are actually two types of pellets. One is for adult guinea pigs and one is for baby or young guinea pigs. Now, our recommendation as a rescue is, depending on the animal and how well and fast it's growing, we say if the animal is under 12 months old, that it's okay to feed the alfalfa-based pellets because they are young guinea pigs. Now, there's always exceptions to every rule. So if you get a guinea pig in your foster care that's 9 months old, getting porky and huge, get them off the young guinea pig pellets and do transition them. And you can mix it 50-50 during the transition and then fully put them on the adult guinea pig pellets once you've made that full transition. But do know, if you do not feed a young guinea pig calcium-based pellets, their bones and their teeth don't develop correctly, and you're signing up for some medical issues later in life. So one of the things we always say when you're fostering for us is when you are taking guinea pigs under a certain age, we will send you home because we provide all our fosters with your food and supplies with young guinea pig pellets. And now let's talk about hay. So Allie, I'm just going to walk around here and I'm hoping you can zoom in. All right. So there are three typical types of hay we use to feed guinea pigs. The first is what we call Timothy hay. And Timothy hay comes in three types: first cutting, second cutting, and third cutting. All cuttings are healthy for your guinea pigs. And the reason why we feed third cutting at the foster house is third cutting actually helps us when we have guinea pigs with gastro issues because they eat more of it and it tends to calm down. So if you have a guinea pig that has soft stools, you know, kind of bloaty. We keep third cutting here mostly and just feed a little bit of first and second, but that's main. Now, many people are allergic to Timothy hay. So with that, we are saying you can switch to orchard grass. Orchard grass is something that also guinea pigs love to eat, but it doesn't have the allergies of Timothy hay. We feed both a mixture of orchard grass and Timothy hay at the intake house because I'm of the better, more variety in the diet, the better. But if you are noticing an allergy to Timothy hay, do try orchard grass. That's totally acceptable. And then please remember, for our young guinea pigs, we actually have to feed them a good handful of high quality alfalfa hay every day. In fact, we say limit pellets, unlimited hay. So the other thing is we do feed 1/8 of a cup to 1/4 cup of pellets a day. Hay is something we feed unlimited. Now, we often get fosters asking, well, my adult guinea pig loves this stuff. Good, but it's incredibly fattening and it's high calcium, more than what adults need. So if you start seeing your foster guinea pigs having a lot of white stuff in their poop, more than usual, you got to cut back and don't feed this. In our house, this is a once a week treat for our adult guinea pigs. We do not give them alfalfa every day. They just get a little bit once a week because we don't want to risk giving too much calcium to them. Now, babies feed as much as they will eat. They need it for their growing bones. They need it for their growing bodies. Never, ever, ever feed potatoes, yams, or other things to your guinea pigs. This is the quickest way to cause an issue. They cannot digest these. The second reason why we don't like the guinea pig junk food that you do at the pet store is because in that guinea pig junk food is peanuts and nuts. Guinea pigs cannot process oils. They are not fat eaters. They are vegetarians, or vegans. And so we recently had to euthanize one of our guinea pigs that I rescued from a show breeder because in order to take them to show, they feed them a fatty food. So imagine a 1.5-year-old beautiful best in show winner with liver disease and a failing liver. Liver failure is one of the most painful, horrific ways to go as an animal. And we did our best to get his liver functioning, but ultimately he did have to be euthanized. So again, fatty stuff is not for guinea pigs. Don't buy them those yogurt, milk, dairy things. They don't do dairy except on mother's milk when they're babies. Otherwise, keep it out of their diet. So one of the common questions we get is all about, if I want to use litter, what litter is appropriate? Well, here's the important thing to know. And wood litters, and specifically pine and cedar, are incredibly damaging to a guinea pig's health and system. So never, ever put a guinea pig or a foster pig on cedar or pine. There is one litter called aspen that if it's low dust and pure aspen untreated, you can get by with. Unfortunately, wood litters grow mold quickly. And so even the aspen litter can be unhealthy for them over time. So here at the house, if we do have to put a guinea pig on litter, this is the one we actually use. It can be bought in bulk. We buy ours off of Amazon, and we can get 2 giant bags, which lasts us a month. And this is recycled paper, low dust bedding. The other thing that I have noticed over the years, because in the old days, I'm 30 years old in this, we were told to put guinea pigs on wood bedding. I have not seen a case of bumblefoot in my house since we switched to the paper bedding, because again, that litter is very abrasive and can cause bumblefoot, which we're going to talk about because I actually have a guinea pig with bumblefoot right now. Now, one of the things, if you want to save money over time, that we do use, and in fact, I just recently switched everyone at the intake house, is what we call liners. There's 2 types of liners. There's the ones you make, and there's the ones you buy. Whether you make them or buy them, the most important part about these liners is that they have an absorptive cover. So as you can see, there's like a soft, fleecy cover. But then if you open it up, you will see inside this is basically the equivalent of a puppy pee pad. And that pulls the moisture away. And then they put a waterproof backing on the back. Now the homemade liners, a lot of people don't do waterproof backings, but any that you buy from Guinea Dad or any of the commercially available liners, they also put that waterproof backing on. Here's what I learned the hard way in the last month. With these liners, if they get wet, if you have a lot of guinea pigs, if they get peed on, I moved my 9 guinea pigs that were my own over to liners over the last month. What I didn't realize was I have one guinea pig that obviously has a lot of peeing going on because I changed my liners twice a week. He now is starting Bumblefoot. Would you mind getting Nimbus out? He's straight back on the wall. So what we're going to show you is the first signs of Bumblefoot. When you get fosters from us, we will tell you if they have Bumblefoot, and we'll give you a cream called mupirocin that helps them deal with it. And at the end of the day, it's all about keeping the cage clean, never putting guinea pigs on a wire floor. And if you're using litter, making sure you're changing that litter regularly.
Me, Richie. So
Hi, Richie.
I have been using the liners that y'all gave me for the guinea pigs cages. I do use pine litter for my cat's litter box, which is in the same room. Should I
Don't worry. Nope, no worries, as long as it's not like where they're running around in it and inhaling it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's all.
Yep. Good question. What we never want to see you use for litter in cages is anything that is like kitty litter, clumping litter, or super dusty. This is a recipe for respiratory infections, asthma, runny noses. And if they eat this clumping litter, they will get an intestinal blockage and die. So do not ever use anything that's kitty litter. Kitty litter is not appropriate for guinea pigs. Now, this is my own little darling Nimbus. Now, Nimbus just recently got switched to liners, but what I want to show you is what the beginning of Bumblefoot looks like. So Allie, can you zoom in on his feet? So you see that Nimbus has red spots and a scab. What happened here was when I switched them to liners, I did not realize that twice a week of switching them out was not enough. And so unfortunately, because my little guy likes to spend most of his time on his hind legs looking at his friends, he gave himself pressure Bumblefoot. Now, this is very simple Bumblefoot, which we can treat at home with mupirocin cream. Do remember when you're dealing with Bumblefoot, some creams are highly toxic to guinea pigs. Mupirocin is one of the ones we get from the vet that is okay to apply. So since we caught it early, you're being such a good boy. You're so happy. All attention is good attention for you. I will be able to just use the mupirocin ointment. When it gets advanced, Bumblefoot unfortunately causes massive infection. It can also lead to what looks like almost like if you've heard of gout in humans, advanced Bumblefoot, they end up getting horrific crystals that are very painful. They lose use of the foot. And in bad situations, we've actually had to remove, amputate toes and feet. So Bumblefoot is something we do when we ask you to send weights and guinea pig condition. Do check your piggy's feet for Bumblefoot every week, because if I had not been checking Nimbus every week, this would have gotten advanced very quickly. And then it would have been a vet visit, oral antibiotics, and all sorts of other things that cost a lot more money. So do make sure you check your guinea pig's pads for any reddening and sensitivity on them. And if you catch it early enough, you don't even have to use mupirocin. You can just rub a little coconut oil in it and it will take care of itself. One of the things you will notice guinea pigs love is anything soft and squishy. And we are totally okay with you buying all sorts of fleecy items for your guinea pig to cuddle in, hide in, nuzzle with, totally okay. The one thing we ask our fosters to pay attention to, though, is how dirty these get. So unfortunately, guinea pigs are not like rabbits and cats. Most of them will pee anywhere. And so do make sure, again, just like those liners in your cages, that you pull these out and you wash these so they're not laying in wet or feces, because again, even these can cause the condition we know as Bumblefoot. Guinea pigs are burrowing animals. So it is really good. And we recommend one house per guinea pig. So if you have more than one guinea pig, if you want to avoid conflicts, especially with male pairs, we say make sure every guinea pig has a house. So this is just one example. This is a little hut and it's got a walk up. So they can actually, for your guinea pigs who like to climb, they can get up and down on the house. This is the more traditional one that almost everyone buys and every guinea pig on the planet loves. This is what we call the hut, right? And again, these are available on Amazon, but for our fosters, anything you need for your babies comes from our Piggy Pantry, and you can just let me know and come by the house. Also known as the pigloo. Yes, thank you, Allie. These are known as the pigloo. Also, there's lots of other flavors of houses. So I'm just showing you one example, but you can buy hammocks, you can buy wood huts. One of the reasons why I keep this here, when you are fostering pregnant guinea pigs, this is the favorite place for pregnant mamas to give birth, is in a dark wood hut. So we actually keep several of these at the house. And when we give pregnant guinea pigs out, sometimes we actually give those out, but we always make sure when you're fostering a pregnant guinea pig, they like to disappear into a hole and give birth. And then while you're watching Breaking Bad, you turn around and there's baby guinea pigs looking at you, which is what happened here at the intake house. Allie was cleaning cages, watching Breaking Bad, and Twinkie gave birth while she was looking at the TV. And next thing you know, she went to change her cage and there was babies in there that weren't there 15 minutes ago. So the other thing when you're dealing with pregnant piggies is to remember that most of the time mama does okay. Statistically speaking, 1 in 5 babies don't make it. I am proud to say, because of how we train you all to take care of those animals, we defy those odds. We really do. And I'm very proud of that. And I'm proud of you fosters, because this year alone, knock on wood, every single mother delivered live, healthy babies. Mike's on me.
They're going to want to spend a lot of time in those little hats of pigloos and so on. So you want to put a liner underneath there or any other favorite places in the cage. And those ones I change every day. So I change the whole liner every couple of days or every 3 days if for whatever reason I can't. But those ones I make sure they change every day, because those are the ones that get really dirty. So if you're doing that,
and that would explain why my guinea pig has at the start of Bumblefoot, I was not changing these every day, which is why I emailed Lucia last night and said, uh-oh, because I'm new to liners. I've always been a litter person. And when you come pick up your fosters, don't forget to remind me to give you a pile of these to change out if you're using liners and don't have them. We have dozens and dozens and dozens of pads and everything else to give you so that you can change those every day if you need to. Now we are going to talk about our precious little babies. And while Lucia's bringing one over, what I want to show you, the #1 problem with babies is they can get out of any cage that has a gap more than a ½ inch. So at the intake house, we keep babies in Midwest cages because Midwest cages meet that limit and the babies cannot get out of it. If you have a C and C cage, which is the 1 inch by 1 inch liners, we actually have to give you an inner liner to put around it, because bad things can happen. Like one day, one of the babies got spooked and we actually had them divided. The baby ran for the 1 by 1 inch hole in the CNC liner, got stuck, and then we had to find the wire cutters to get them out. So this is one of our little precious. So for those of you who are taking home or caring for baby guinea pigs, one of the things we have to remind you is they are truly like a human baby. They think they're Superman. They don't fear death. They will jump, leap, run, fall, break legs, whatever. So we have to be super careful when we hold, when we walk. And you can tell, like, even though I'm showing it to you, my hand's really close so that if I get a bolt, and you notice I've got his little toes tucked in my fingers. So again, if he starts to run, I can squeeze down and hold them in place. Now, baby guinea pigs, when you're fostering for us, we definitely need to see weights every week. The only way we know whether a baby is thriving and growing is by its weight gain. So all of you are going to be given access to our new Pet Established account, where you'll be able to auto enter instead of texting me every week, weights, pictures, behaviors, and things like that. Because basically you can just get a little scale. And if you don't have a food scale, I have a food scale. I just throw a little metal bowl on it, and that's how we weigh our babies. But that's how we know they're thriving. Now, if we talk about mamas, we do the same thing. If we give you a pregnant mom or a suspected pregnant mom, the way we determine that they're truly pregnant is the steady weight gain. So for example, we had Tater and Tot at a foster home on a pregnancy watch because they were brought in with males. 60 days passed, no babies, no weight gain. So we knew we could adopt them out. The other thing that it tells us with weight gain, you are so sweet, you're laying on me. Gosh darn, you're a sweetie. I'm not used to babies being this calm. They're normally like running around and misbehaving. With the pregnant moms, we also have you weigh them because pregnant mamas gestate between 60 and 72 days. And again, normal pregnancies have weight gain. And if suddenly mid-pregnancy they stop gaining weight, that can be an indicator that the babies have died, that they're about to miscarry, or there's some other complication. So again, those weekly weights you send us are important. They're also important for just the regular adult guineas because the first thing you will notice, and I would never have known my Nimbus had major health issues, except for the fact that I weighed him. And over the course of 6 months, he lost 100 grams, no matter how much I was feeding him. So again, sending in those weights every week. If they're steady, we know the guinea pig's thriving. If it goes up a lot, we may talk to you about guinea pig junk food and cutting back on it. As I said, we tell you to feed them plain pellets. You all will go to the store and there are tons of bags that have all these little pretty color things. And we call it guinea pig junk food because, in fact, you want to go get Irvin? He's the big dude in the hallway here. What happens when you feed an animal too much guinea pig junk food is they actually get obese and unhealthy. So we're actually about to go into common ailments of guinea pigs, and I'm going to show you a couple of our guinea pigs and their ailments. You are going to sleep in my arms. That is so cute. So absolutely relaxed. This is what it looks like to feed too much junk food to a guinea pig. This is Irvin. He is quite heavy and he is quite big. And he and a couple other buddies got a little too much on the junk food side of things. So this is what look at the difference in size here. This is definitely hugely different in size, but yes, this is why we say not so much guinea pig junk food. Yeah, that's big boy Irvin. All right, now let's talk about medical conditions in guinea pigs. Do you mind taking? Oh, one at a time, they jump. Yeah, we never pick up more than one guinea pig baby at a time. That's the other rule. They're so small, you think you can grab them. When they decide they want a Superman on you, one at a time. There's no way you're going to catch them, and then you'll be dealing with a more serious situation. So there are some things that happen to guinea pigs that can say, yes, we need surgery. One of the things that unfortunately happens to female guinea pigs is ovarian cysts. Now, guinea pigs that have babies typically do not develop these, just like breastfeeding mothers are at lower risk for breast cancer. Guinea pigs are at lower risk for ovarian tumors when they have babies. So, but the thing is most guinea pigs don't. So the reason why I'm focusing on Nezami is you can see she's starting to lose her hair. Whenever you have a foster female guinea pig and you start to see hair loss, this is a warning sign that they have hormonal issues and ovarian cysts. So Miss Nezami here, and you can also see how her sides are starting to round because she actually has one on this side and one on this side. So at some point, Miss Nezami, if these don't stabilize, will have to go in for surgery and do a spay. But again, if you're fostering a guinea pig for us and see hair loss like this in a female, alert us right away because we do need to bring them in and have them checked for ovarian cysts. There's also another condition that guinea pigs can get. And just so you know, Nezami was a rescue. She is highly inbred. So she's like the sister of the father of the mother of the brother, unfortunately. So she has multiple things I'm going to be able to show you. So one of the things she does have is what are called fatty tumors under her eyes. All right. Some guinea pigs are more prone to these as others. The good news is most of these little eye tumors, and you'll notice you'll see more white and a little puffiness under their eyes. The good news is these eye tumors typically don't require surgery. So all it is an indication that a better diet. What's hard is Nezami has 3 other family members in the same cage as her. So we struggle with Miss Nezami's diet because she has learned to steal her cage mate's food because she does not like being on a diet. She is also amazingly affectionate. And as Allie's showing, she actually gives really, really nice kisses. The other thing that you can see with inbred guinea pigs is they can have extra, come here, baby. I know I may have Lucia do it, but she actually had, I know, you think I'm going to cut those nails, and I promise I'm not. So Nezami has extra split fingernails. So what this means when we have to cut her nails, she has 2 cross nails on one toe. Nezami also gets outgrowths, which unfortunately I cut them off. They can grow a piece of skin that looks like a skin tag. And if you zoom in, Allie, I'm just going to show them. They typically grow on the outside of the foot where I'm pointing here. Those are also dead, quote unquote, nails. And we can actually cut those with nail clippers, which is why you can't see she has them, but they are way more common. Extra toes and split toes are way more common in inbred guinea pigs like Nezami. So let's talk about general health checks in guinea pigs. And I am going to bring what I consider my healthiest guinea pig, Andy. We've nicknamed him Tuffy. But he literally is like the invincible man, and he is what I call the ideal healthy guinea pig. So this is my friend Andy. Why I love Andy is he is one of the healthiest guinea pigs I have ever seen. So this is a great example of what your guinea pig, your foster, should always look like. First and foremost, look at those ears. Clear on the inside. If you can zoom in, Allie, because usually, all right, so you don't see any dander, don't see any litter. They're completely clear. His ears themselves have no crust on them. They are super soft, super healthy, no scabs, no sign of scabies, mange, or otherwise, and he is in heaven because I'm rubbing his ears. Now, look at how beautiful his eyes are. There's no crustiness, there's no discharge, there is nothing there. He doesn't have any fatty tumors, nothing like that. And now we're going to show you teeth. Andy has absolutely beautiful, and he's going to hate this, so I'm going to, come here, baby, back up. I know. This is the part they love, getting their teeth looked at. But if you look at his upper teeth and his lower teeth, this man has never broken his teeth. You see they're pearly white. There's no black. There's no anything on them. Now, the good news is, since he's my guinea pig, he'll let me touch him anywhere. When you feel under his chin, you'll notice Andy does not have a double chin, which means Andy is not fat like some of his friends. All right. Now, when we look at Andy's coat, it is beautiful and glossy. And the reason I'm showing a black guinea pig is you can see there's no dander. If you ever see white dander on your foster, that means a deficiency. So they should not have dander normally. And so if you do see any kind of dander on your foster pet, talk to us because they may need vitamin C, vitamin D, or something else added to their diet. Now, Andy is a boy. So I am going to show with boys, boys have a scent gland on the back of their butts that can get totally clogged and nasty. As you can see, his is 100% clear. I know you don't want me to touch it. No buildup or anything. If your boars ever have any buildup here, we recommend you keep just a little bottle of coconut oil, which is non-toxic to guinea pigs. We don't want you to really use any other oils but coconut. And if you start feeling any kind of crusty stiffness here, you can literally take a tiny bit of coconut oil, I know you love that, and rub it on there and it will get rid of that. Now, let's look at feet and toes. You're being so good, big boy. You can also see that on, oh, don't you dare. Come here, baby. He's like, I don't want to give you my foot. All right. As you can see, or not, because he keeps kicking, he also has good cut nails, no curling. And then, of course, if we look at his feet, remember I told you to check their feet for bumblefoot? Even black-feeted guinea pigs can get bumblefoot. So you do want to check them and make sure they're not developing anything on those feet. And if they have black feet, use your finger. It should feel really, really soft. And then, of course, you can tell he is an unspayed male. So this is what a good, healthy male looks like. And so if your boars are looking like this, this is good. No need to alert us or let us know what's going on. All right, and Andy's going to get so happy because we're going to bring a girl here in a minute. But Andy's one of my own, and he's one of the few I've been able to keep from not getting obese because Andy lives by himself. The other thing you will notice is the more guinea pigs you put in, the more likely you're going to have one with a weight problem. Guinea pigs have an evolutionary thing called I eat myself the biggest. So for example, Nezami was the runt of the litter. She lives with her family. All right, I'll swap you. Thank you. Nezami was the runt of the litter, which is why she has constant problems. All right, this is our lovey-dovey who I rescued from a breeder. We actually don't even recommend people owning this animal. This animal is incredibly inbred. This is a show quality pig, and it's prone to all sorts of special issues. But if you have a guinea pig that you're fostering for us that has a longer hair, and I intentionally did not give her a haircut before this presentation because I wanted you to see how bad it gets on long-haired guinea pigs, and why we say don't own them is if you look at her stomach, they knot. She has knots everywhere. We have to give her a weekly haircut just to keep her from having gigantic, and I don't even know if you can see it, Allie, but there's this gigantic one. Oh, come here, baby. I know. This right here is a giant poopy mess of a knot because she is a long-haired fuzzy satin. All right. So one of the things we do also like you to do once a week, and I have to do this with her, but like I said, I left them here because I wanted to show you what can happen. You want to feel them from head to toe, because right now I can tell I have 5 separate knots that need to be cut off that are usually, unfortunately, full of pee or poo. So this particular breed of animal is incredibly high maintenance. You can see how messy her bum bum is, and she is not happy with me. She is a female. So one of the things we're going to show you is sexing guinea pigs. So when you get a guinea pig in, we've already done the hard work for you, but if you ever get an animal direct, okay, and you need to sex them, you flip them over and you will notice the girls have a tiny little thing. And I call this the magic button right above it. If it was a boy, there's going to be something funny to pop out, whereas this is a girl, so it's not happening. So I'm going to swap you, Lucia. All right. And is this one of the boys, Allie?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
Okay. So if you could grab me a boy, he's they're next to Nimbus. But again, when we have baby guinea pigs, there's a reason why we don't sex them till they hit 3 weeks. And that is because look how tiny that is to tell that that is a girl, right? And you see that little white bump? That is the main indicator. And you see I'm putting pressure above that spot. You're going to see when I bring a boy guinea pig why I'm pressing there to make sure. And those of you who have baby guinea pigs that you haven't sexed yet, this is going to help you. There's a reason why I put my thumb there. Okay, so that was a girl. This is one of our boy guinea pigs. The reason why we say you have to wait 3 weeks to sex is because boy guinea pigs can look like girl guinea pigs until their testicles descend. Now, this little boy is almost 4 weeks old. So if you flip a little baby boy over, you can see, oh, it kind of looks like a girl. But when we press that magic little spot, we got a little surprise popping out of it. So again, I'm going to show that again. If you press a boy right there, it's going to come out. I know he's giving me the face. All right. But the reason why we only sex these guinea pigs at 3 weeks is because before 3 weeks, that may not happen. And so we want to make sure that we are not causing more problems, because guess what? This little boy is 4 weeks old. He can already get his mother pregnant. So that's why we separate as fosters at 21 days. The girls can stay with their mom longer, but the boys, they got to come out at 21 days, because the other gift, mom goes into heat pretty much 2 to 4 weeks after giving birth. So she can literally get pregnant 2 to 4 weeks after giving birth. And I can't tell you how many times we get guinea pigs into the rescue because they didn't separate the males and females fast enough from mama. And then, of course, we have to deal with the other thing, which is inbreeding, and we prefer not to inbreed the animals. We had our breeder dump, which all of you were familiar of. The guinea pigs were this big and pregnant. And then they had to grow over 60 days and give birth. So not only did they have to grow into adults, but they also had to birth 1 to 2 guinea pigs. Thankfully, they had smaller litters. Some guinea pigs aren't so lucky. We just got one in that gave birth to 5, and she was barely bigger than this. And she was already pregnant from Petco. So one of the most challenging things you get to do as a foster is cut guinea pig nails. And unfortunately, there's 2 types of nails you're going to see with guinea pigs. Now, you can buy commercial pet clippers. Those are available at any pet store. I am very nearsighted and need reading glasses, so I actually use good old-fashioned human toenail clippers, because for me, this is easier to do than to hold that thing and open and shut it. And that's just a personal preference, but any commercial cat or dog nail clippers work just as well as this. So Morgat is a bit of a drama queen. He's been this way his whole life. But one of the things I want Allie to show you is some guinea pigs have lovely, and we may have to use mine because these guys are going to be a bad example, but look how they have very nice light nails. And in fact, if you zoom in on the nails, you can see where the blood or the quick is, as we refer to it. Most of the time, you do not want to ever cut to the quick. There is an exception. When we get a guinea pig in with horrifically overgrown nails, we do have to cut to the quick, because that's what makes it pull in, so we can get rid of the curling on the nails. Now, you have all 4 white feet. Do you have a black foot? I thought he had 1 black foot. Yeah. And if you see Moog has black nails, and you're probably thinking, where the heck do I find the quick? Well, it's trial and error with the black nails, but I recommend take the first snip off, and if it doesn't bleed and it looks a good length, leave it. So there's 2 ways to cut nails. I cut nails with an assistant, my daughter, Allie, okay? Lucia lives by herself, and so she doesn't have an assistant, so she's got to cut them on her own. So I'm going to have Lucia show it first, because that's the more common situation, is how do you cut a guinea pig's nails when it's just you?
So I'm just holding him against my body, and sometimes, usually I do it sitting down, but
Do you want, we could do it sitting, she can follow you with the camera if you want to sit down.
all right.
Okay.
I'll just do it here. So I'm just holding this because I need 1 hand for the cutting. So I'm just going to do that. Fine. And the quicker you do it, the better, because then you don't have to have them in this position. But just for the 1 foot. And I don't mind doing it, so I do it often enough. I don't have to cut them in really, really short. But now with the hands, it really depends. If you can do it this way, so you don't have to put them on the back, that's way better. And again, I'm just using 1 hand to keep them secure and put the hand or the foot in a position where I've got a good grip of it. And again, we're almost done here. You're doing so well.
Really good at that.
I know, she is. That's why I'm having her show it, because I stink it. The one-handed cut is harder for me. You're next, but we're going to do 2 hands.
And the idea with Guinea Link's website, they have some guidelines with some really good drawing. The way that the nail is supposed to be cut is like a slant this way, so the top is longer, it's over than the bottom. So good job, you did well.
I know. He's like, God, I came here for boarding, and then I got that. Yep. Okay, so if you have a helper, one of the things we do like to do with the helper is one holds and one cuts. And I'm going to do a quick time check here. Okay, we're doing okay on time. And so when we have a helper, and Luthia is going to be back, we can actually, and we actually do this, we literally put them in front of lettuce, okay? And the holder holds while the cutter cuts. Now, one of the things with these two, because they're not used to being cut, is we have to either use our bodies or a towel to get them to let us access and clip those nails. So you see, like right now, I could go in, or Luthia could go in and cut these nails because he can't go anywhere. Now, the one thing to remember if you're the one doing the holding is the guinea pig will fight and buck, but what he has to know is no matter which way he goes, you go with him and hold with him. So as you can see, he's heading this way. So I'm holding him this way. So he's running, but he can't run any further. Now, if you can master the one-handed cutting, I do actually think guinea pigs do better on that. But if you need an assistant, then this is how it goes. And then your assistant can do the cutting while you do the holding, or vice versa. The other thing we like to do to train guinea pigs not to totally hate having their nails cut, I do send them back to their cage with a treat. So we cut their nails and then we give them a piece of lettuce and we send them back to their cage so that at least they get over the trauma very quickly because they realize they get an award. Where do I put my guinea pig? Now, I am partial to putting guinea pigs near sunshine and sunny windows because guinea pig skin is like human skin. They do absorb vitamin D through that skin, and that vitamin D is very healthy for them. Now, if you can't put them by a sunny window, you can always put them or run them around or put them in a room with a sunny window so that they do get some sunshine. Now, I will tell you, there's a debate about whether they need sunshine or not, especially if you're giving them a fortified food, they have adequate vitamin D and other things in their diet. So if you don't have a place that's sunshiny, don't despair. That's what supplements are for. And you can give your guinea pig supplements if you start seeing, like I said, that dander that shows up on their skin. And then the second thing we, as a rescue, do not support or want you to do is take the animals outside. Several reasons for this. Number one, we live in Hawk Central in Texas. And I hate to break the news to you, but you can go on YouTube and see owners sitting with their guinea pigs or rats or rabbits or whatever in pens on their porches, and hawks literally diving so fast they have the animal and they take off faster than you can react. So if you do feel like taking your guinea pig outside with you, we ask you to buy, and you can get them on Amazon quite cheap. There is actually one you can take outside and it has a zippered cover so that they are completely covered. Now, the other thing to be aware of in Texas, which is a huge risk and has happened to other guinea pig owners because we get the calls, fleas and ticks. So again, if you throw your guinea pig in the grass and your neighbor's dog has fleas or ticks, those are in your yard too. Or if your dog or cat is bringing them into the yard, even if they're on flea and tick medication, it doesn't stop the fleas from coming. It just kills the fleas once they bite your animal. So again, outside means fleas and ticks as a risk. And guinea pigs and rabbits, it's not very fun to get those off. The third thing we don't like about outside, and never ever, especially take a guinea pig and have it live outside, guinea pigs are not designed for this weather. Guinea pigs grow up and their original origin is in a temperate, steady temperature climate. That is not Texas. So again, heat stroke, freezing cold, all those other things, not appropriate. And last but not least, guinea pigs outside tend to be murdered by raccoons. So do rabbits. Raccoons are an animal that has an opposable thumb. I have literally had people, and I went over and got called on a call to figure out what had happened. The raccoon had ripped the guinea pig apart piece by piece by putting his hand through the cage bars and pulling that guinea pig, and they found it in pieces in the morning. So again, outside, not our recommendation. Keep those foster animals in the house. With that, let's talk about behavioral issues. Guinea pigs under normal circumstances do not bite. If your guinea pig is a biter, typically that means it came from an abusive situation. We will let you know before you take that animal home to foster if it is a biter. One of the things that you have to do with a biter is teach it not to bite. Teach it that it's safe. Also, if you see two guinea pigs in a pair, chattering, pushing each other out of huts, stealing each other's food, all that kind of stuff, that's normal behavior of two roommate guinea pigs. When you are having issues or when you have to separate animals is when they do what I like to refer to as the Mexican rumble. They're literally fighting so hard, they're tumbling head over heels with each other. Or when you do your weekly inspection, oh, hi, beautiful. This is Phantom. She is one of mine. And as you can see, she and her sister Nezami compete for fattest guinea pig in the cage. And they have had this competition since birth. Nezami still beats her despite being the smaller one, but Phantom does her best. All right, so Phantom is totally tame, right? But if you have a guinea pig that's a biter, you have to build trust. How do you build trust with a guinea pig? You put them on your lap, safe with a towel, and you groom them like their mothers did. So mothers do this. You can almost hypnotize a guinea pig by rubbing on their forehead. Mothers also groom their ears. I know, look at her eyes closing. So again, when you have a guinea pig that needs to be socialized, cuddle it up in a nice little blanket or towel on your lap, rub those ears. The other thing that mama does, which many people don't realize, and I've only had so many pregnant moms that I learned it over the years, this is the secret sauce. Mamas rub cheeks. Guinea pigs, especially those that have developed trauma or come from a traumatic situation, when you socialize them like this, you're basically telling them you're safe. You're like their mom. And as you can tell, Phantom's like, you can keep doing this for 10,000 hours. And I don't care because I think you're my mom and you're grooming me. So when you're having issues with socializing guinea pigs, I always say, start with the face, the ears, and the forehead. Most guinea pigs, the minute you hit mid back to here, and of course Phantom's tame, so she's not going to care. Don't start with this. This is not going to fly when you have a feral guinea pig that's never been handled. Always focus on the face, the ears, the rubbing, the cheeks, and then that way you'll get them tamed. Anything you want to add to that?
Just yeah, like what you were saying, you can do the top, but avoid the back and underneath, and don't go against the direction of the hair. Like if you do, just always in the direction of the hair.
And if you have an Abyssinian or another guinea pig with longer hair, going in the direction of the hair becomes even more important. Now, Luthia is showing what I train all my guinea pigs to do, which is to let me rub under their chin. I will tell you, some guinea pigs do not like this. And many, like, yeah, she's like, but she's my little lover and I've had her since she was a baby and she was born here. So she's pretty trusting about that. There's a reason why we at the Austin Guinea Pig Rescue do not typically adopt out to homes unless we have a parent committed to pig care for kids under the age of 10. And the reason why is kids have trouble handling these animals when they're wild, and kids don't know their grip strength. And so we have to make sure that when we adopt out a guinea pig, and in fact, if we know there's a child involved, we bring them to the house and we teach them how to get the guinea pig. So when you're dealing with a guinea pig that's not used to being handled and it runs a lot, picking it up out of the cage can be difficult. So this is Phantom. Phantom literally is like, I could do anything with her, right? I've tamed her. She's been with me since she was basically born. But when you're dealing with guinea pigs that are really frightened and you don't know how to handle them correctly, one of the things you can do is when you try to get them out of the cage, use your pig glue. Okay. And then this is how you take them out of the cage, and of course block that hole. But at least that if you're having trouble grabbing the guinea pig, especially when you're a foster with a feral guinea pig, this can be their first experience of being picked up. And then what you want to work towards, and there you go, Allie, you've got to zoom in, is that you can actually just grab them around the insides and set them in your arms. The other thing we want to teach kids when they're carrying animals, and why it's so important to make sure guinea pigs are not appropriate pets for small children. So when people say they have a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, they want to buy a guinea pig for, we say not the animal to have. In fact, really, there's not a lot of pets for that age group. But when you're training into holding a guinea pig, the reason why we actually have her flipped like this is because when I walk with her, I can actually put my hand on her. And so even if she startles or does anything crazy, right, there's no way she's going to drop or fall out of my arms. And what you can't see, but you can see her eyes, Phantom doesn't like to be walked around. So zoom in on that. Yeah, you see that white eyeball? Yeah. And so when I, even as tame as she is, I have to carry her like this in a protective hold because she will bolt. She doesn't like to be moved. She loves to be held and sleep on your lap, but getting her from the cage to the lap, she definitely needs this hold. Other animals in the house. So the good news is many animals, dogs, cats, rabbits, will accept a guinea pig, and they know the difference between inside and outside animals. Unfortunately, we do not know which way a cat or a dog is going to go until they actually see the animal. So when we give you a foster animal, and if you have dogs or cats at home and you don't know how they're going to react, we will actually have you do an introduction with the animal either in your arms or in a cage, and the other animal being restrained. So dogs and cats can do quick attacks. In fact, thankfully, we had someone who had a German Shepherd and wanted to know if that German Shepherd was okay with their guinea pig. So what we did was I held the guinea pig, she held the German Shepherd. Well, good thing was I did this. She had the German Shepherd because that guinea pig would have been crushed in one mouth bite. So do make sure if you're doing fostering and you have other animals, those animals have to be tested with the animals to make sure they're safe. Now, if you have a separate room with a door, we recommend you always keep the animals up on a table. Why? Because dogs and cats and rabbits, and I can tell you, I have 2 foster rabbits for adoption in the intake house right now, they know how to take the cages apart. So even if you have it lidded and everything else, those animals, cats, dogs, and rabbits, are smart enough to take the cage apart and still potentially harm the animal. So getting them up on a table and lidded, using zip ties, not just the clamps that come with the cage, but actually zip tying things, will protect those animals from an attack. And then at the end of the day, we say if you have an aggressive animal, you may have to consider that a guinea pig's not a pet or a foster that you should be doing simply because you don't want to put that animal at risk. So Piggy Pantry is here at this house for now until we have a permanent intake center. If you run out of anything, need anything like bottles, bowls, your bottle malfunctions, whatever, don't worry about it. We've got plenty here at the Piggy Pantry. In fact, today we've got a ton of volunteers sorting through all of it. So one of the ways we do raise funds for this organization is to take on boarders. So for example, this summer, I have 7 animals that will be coming in and out of my house for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. And it will be a couple $1,000s of donations from the people that are doing that. That is revenue that pays vet bills, pays for food, pays to keep us in. If you're willing to do boarding for fundraising, just let us know. So if you're willing to, on a short-term basis, whether it's 3 days, a week, a month, take in an animal, and then we can actually ask for a donation. We ask for $5 per piggy per day. That would be really appreciated because that does help us raise funds. It is not required though. No one has to board. That's a foster. It's totally up to you. Last but not least, let's talk about home visits. So one of the things you do have to tell us as a foster is whether you're comfortable with potential adopters coming to your home and meeting the guinea pigs you're fostering. We understand you may not be. What I can assure you is that any applicant for a guinea pig goes through an incredibly rigorous application process, interview process, etc. So we're not sending you someone that we have not personally screened ourselves and would not have in our own homes to look at the animals. But if you as a foster prefer not to have home visits, please do let us know, and then we'll arrange for you to take them to the nearest board member or foster house so that the adopters can come visit and meet that animal.